In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on November 27, 2022, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer anywhere from 1 betting pick a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. St. Louis versus Auburn. The St. Louis Billikens and Auburn Tigers face off on Sunday in a college basketball showdown at Auburn Arena. When these two teams faced off in 2021, it was Auburn that secured the 74-70 victory. The Tigers are 0-4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games after allowing less than 50 points in their previous game. The over is 6-1 in St. Louis' last 7 games overall. The over is 5-1 in Billikens' last 6 games after scoring more than 90 points in their previous game. The over is 4-0 in Billikens' last 4 games following a straight-up win. St. Louis takes on Auburn on Saturday afternoon in a game very much worth watching, featuring 2 teams that are likely to be tournament-worthy when we get to March. These teams are also a conflict in playing styles, something that makes this game tricky to predict. Auburn comes into the game undefeated, yet largely untested. In their last outing, they narrowly survived a middling Northwestern team, 43-42. Everyone has a bad shooting night sometimes, I guess. Auburn, though, is clearly hanging its hat this season on defense. The Billikens, on the other hand, come in at 5-1. They are battle-tested, having already beaten Providence, Memphis, and Murray State. Their lone loss came to Maryland, and they were beaten soundly, 95-67. The Billikens know that bids are scarce from the Atlantic 10, and they are playing a tough schedule to potentially build a tournament resume. A strong showing against Auburn might be the most important of those games for St. Louis. St. Louis is a great scoring team that returns its top 4 scorers from last season when the Billikens led their conference in scoring. Auburn is a gritty, defensive-minded team that locks down almost everyone. Although Auburn lost some talent from last year's team, they are still plenty deep this year. It is only a matter of time before Auburn finds some offensive rhythm. I think this line is pretty well on point. I think there is a lot at stake for the Billikens long-term here, and I think they will want to show what they can do against one of the nation's best teams, especially after a poor showing against Maryland. If Auburn's offensive woes continue, this game could be a shocker, so the St. Louis Billikens to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. St. Louis ranks 89th in adjusted tempo, while Auburn ranks 128th, so both teams should have plenty of chances to score. Despite not being a great shooting team, Auburn is averaging 71 points per game and will most likely exceed that against the Billikens. On the other hand, at least 148 points have been scored in each of St. Louis' 6 games this season, and they are only one of the best free throw shooting teams in the country, shooting 81.3%. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Duke versus Purdue. It will be an Atlantic Coast Conference versus Big Ten matchup in the championship game of the Phil Knight Legacy Tournament, as the Duke Blue Devils will take on the Purdue Boilermakers. Duke arrived here with wins over Oregon State in their opener and then Xavier on Friday night. The Boilermakers reached the championship game with wins over West Virginia on Thanksgiving and then a win over favored Gonzaga on Friday night. Duke is 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 Sunday games. The under is 6-1 in Duke's last 7 games, and the under is 4-1 in Duke's last 5 neutral site games. Purdue is 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 neutral site games and 1-3-1 against the spread in their last 5 Sunday games. The under is 5-1 in Purdue's last 6 games, and the over is 37-13-1 in their last 51 neutral site games. When looking at the adjusted offensive rating according to Ken Palm, Duke is 14th in the country with a 114 rating, while Purdue is 7th in the nation with a 115.9 offensive rating. A huge reason is their ability to shoot the 3, as the Boilermakers are 164th in the sport with 33.3% from beyond the arc, while the Blue Devils are 235th in NCAA with a 31.33% percentage so far. The Boilermakers did a great job against Gonzaga on Friday, shooting 47.5% from the field and 38.5% from 3-point range. Purdue bagged a nice 46-31 rebounding advantage during the victory. This will probably be the Boilermakers' toughest game of the season so far, though Duke has hit their stride again since the loss to Kansas. The Blue Devils shot 50% from the field with 33 rebounds versus Xavier in their last outing. The Boilermakers are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 neutral site games, so the Purdue Boilermakers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Both defenses have been doing extremely well throughout the beginning portion of the season, as Duke is allowing 54 points per game while Purdue is giving up 59 points per game so far this year. The adjusted defensive rating from Ken Pom shows this, as well as the Blue Devils are 23rd in the sport with a 91.5 rating, while the Boilermakers are 39th in the nation with an 87.2 rating so far. The under has hit in 6 of the previous 7 Duke games, as well as in 5 of the last 6 Purdue games. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. North Carolina versus Alabama. The North Carolina Tar Heels and Alabama Crimson Tide will be playing for 3rd place when they meet in the Phil Knight Invitational on Sunday afternoon. The Tar Heels are coming off a 70-65 loss to Iowa State as 5.5-point favorites. The Crimson Tide are coming off an 82-67 loss to UConn as 2-point favorites. North Carolina won the only meeting between the two teams. North Carolina is 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 Sunday games and 6-2 against the spread in their last 8 neutral site games. The under is 5-2 in North Carolina's last 7 games, and the under is 19-7 in their last 26 Sunday games. Alabama is 9-21-1 against the spread in their last 31 games, and 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 neutral site games. The over is 4-1 in Alabama's last 5 games, and the over is 7-1 in their last 8 neutral site games. This should be a fun game involving 2 Ken Pom top 25 teams. Both teams like to play fast, so this could very well be a game of runs. From a betting perspective, this could make for a good live betting game, but in terms of per game, Alabama is the recommended side. Both teams have top 20 offenses in Ken Pom's adjusted offensive efficiency, but Alabama ranks 19th in defensive efficiency, whereas North Carolina ranks 50th. More specifically, Alabama's transition defense could be the difference in this game. Per synergy, Alabama ranks in the 82nd percentile in transition defense, while North Carolina ranks in just the 31st percentile. Given that both teams like to play fast on offense, Alabama's defense should give them the edge. The Crimson Tide also have the number 1 2-point percentage defense in the country, which will be key against North Carolina's Armando Bacot. Charles Bediako is the primary reason for this, as he ranks inside the top 40 in block rate. North Carolina is ranked number 1 in the country, but is coming off of a loss against Iowa State and hasn't looked very dominant this year. Alabama is coming off of a loss against Connecticut, but beat a good Michigan State team in the game prior. With how North Carolina has played in their last few games, I give the edge to Alabama in this matchup. Expect a fun, high-possession game and for Alabama to emerge victorious. So the Alabama Crimson Tide to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Both teams rank inside the top 75 in Ken Pom's average offensive possession length, with North Carolina ranking 73rd and Alabama ranking 20th. Both teams are going to look to push the tempo whenever possible, which should mean a large volume of shots. In addition, neither team is great at forcing turnovers, which once again means there should be a lot of shot attempts. For Ken Pom, both teams rank outside the top 300 in defensive turnover rate. From a matchup perspective, each team has an advantage that could help push the game over the total. For Alabama, it is their offensive rebounding. For Ken Pom, the Crimson Tide ranks 2nd nationally in offensive rebounding rate. North Carolina ranks just 126th in defensive rebounding rate, so we could see quite a few second chance opportunities for Alabama. On the North Carolina side, the Tar Heels are great at getting to the foul line, ranking 8th in free throw rate. Alabama tends to foul a lot, ranking just 221st in defensive free throw rate. Given the high possession count and the aforementioned offensive advantages, this one will likely be a high-scoring affair. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.